Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to yet another benchmarking video. In today's video, we are going to be showcasing yet another budget build, and we're basically just going to be benchmarking the build to see how it holds up in modern titles. We're using the same build as last time, only that this time we are going team green, hence the green color you can see back there to match the NVIDIA's theme colors, which are green. So the system that we're going to be benchmarking today, or rather the system back there that we're going to be benchmarking, has a Ryzen 5 4500, which is a 6-core 12-thread CPU paired up with an NVMe that is 256 gigs paired up with 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM paired up with an NVIDIA GTX 1660 Super, which has 6 gigs of VRAM. The total cost for this system back there is 92,000 Kenya shillings. So let's not waste time and jump straight into the benchmarking of this system. Okay, so we are now in Forza Horizon, and we're going to see how the GTX 1660 handles this game. So these are the settings that I'm running. So as you can see, it's a medium, or rather it's a mix between high to medium settings. For the most part, there's a lot of medium and high settings turned on. So I'm just going to restart the benchmark mode, which simulates a race. Typically it's more of like a representation of what you're going to be doing inside the game. So, and as you can see, we are off to a very good start here, as the GTX 1660 is maintaining the 60 FPS mark, and I've done this benchmark a couple of times, so for the most part it was staying above 60. And depending on the area, I think this is a densely populated area with geometry, buildings. It's a lot of cars on screen, and as you can see, for a moment there we hit 73 FPS. Right now we are in a less crowded area in terms of geometry, and as you can see, we are up to 80 FPS. For the most part, I would say this benchmark is designed to simulate like typical gameplay for anyone who is going to plan on playing this game. But so far so good. The GTX 1660 is not breaking a sweat here. We are staying above the 60 FPS mark. Depending on the area, we're even going up to 80, 70 FPS. So the 1660 is actually more than capable of running Forza Horizon 5. Okay, so guys, I am in Resident Evil 4, the remake, and the settings that I'm rocking with are pretty much the same as what I was using last time. I have FSR turned off, and it's a mix of high, medium to low settings. Now, I don't want to mess around with the settings as much because I know these are budget PCs, and I'm pretty sure most of them pretty much perform mostly or roughly equally the same. So in this case, I'm in Resident Evil 4, and I don't know, it seems like I am getting way less FPS than I was getting with the 5600 XT, and it seems like maybe this game favors AMD cards more, which is something that I wouldn't rule out, because that is something that I have seen before in benchmarks, where certain games favor certain, or rather a certain brand of a GPU more than the other. So in this case, as you can see, it's clear that maybe this game has a certain preference for AMD GPUs, but I mean, the outside area here is a very densely populated area in terms of geometry, so this is a stress test area for most GPUs. But for the most part, this FPS that I'm getting right now, for the most part, as you can see, I'm getting a steady 53, 55 FPS when I'm outside, so it's pretty playable. For me, it feels pretty smooth. I wouldn't say necessarily that that's not a playable experience. And of course, as you can see, my frame rate has jumped high significantly, because now I am inside and I am sticking above the 60 FPS mark. So let's just run around inside and see how this GPU will perform. I think there should be a door here, there should be a cinematic, which I will probably skip. Let's skip the cinematic. As you can see, now that I'm inside, I'm even getting some 70 FPS, some 69 FPS there, so as you can see 74. So I think it pretty much depends on where you're in, and for the most part this game takes part indoors, or rather in such kinds of environments where you're inside, and for the most part this is a very playable experience. The settings are okay because they maintain the visual quality of the game, and the frame rate is quite smooth. So I'll say the GTX 1660 is actually more than capable of running Resident Evil 4, the remake. Okay, so now I am in Apex Legends, a very popular online shooter, and my settings are this. I haven't touched anything, so we're pretty much rocking the same settings that we were rocking last time. A mix of high to low, or rather high to medium settings, and as you can currently see, I do believe Apex Legends is performing better with the GTX 1660. As you can see, I am hitting 140 FPS. This is what I would consider quite playable, quite enjoyable. So this is a very smooth playable experience. So pretty nice to see that the 1660 is performing, or rather handling this game quite well. Oh my god! Terrible aim! Very terrible aim, but I mean, I was in a fight there and my frame rate still stayed for the most part above 100 FPS. So the GTX 1660 is actually more than capable of running Apex Legends. Okay, so now I'm in Deadlock, a game by Valve, the makers of Steam, and my settings are pretty much the same as yesterday. I think there's a few things here and there that have changed, but I think, yeah, for the most part, the settings that I was rocking when I was using the 5600 XT is what I'm using right now. And as you can currently see, I am way above the 100 FPS mark. I'm getting above, or rather I'm getting around 126. So the GTX 1660 is performing quite nice in this one. So alright. Now this game is like pretty much like Valorant in that this is not a stress tester. I mean, this is a pretty easy game to run. You can even pretty much see with the graphics of the game. So this is one of those games I believe that even if you are not running on this budget system, you'll pretty much have an easy time running this game with other more lower tier PCs. So for the most part, this game is pretty playable with the GTX 1660, and I have to avoid this guy. This guy's banning me, man. Okay, so now we are in the infamous Cyberpunk. Let's see how the GTX 1660 will perform in Cyberpunk. Of course, we know Cyberpunk is an extremely heavy game to run. And by the way, I noticed that the texture setting is not available when you're in game. It is only available when you're in the main menu. So I have the texture resolution set to medium, and as you can see, for the most part, everything is mostly low or medium. So yeah, so this is the best settings that I found will work with the GTX 1660, and I'm also running Fidelity FX, or rather AMD's FSR 2.1, and we are running the quality preset. So I did try auto. Actually, let's go to auto. I did try auto, and I don't know. I don't know. I felt like it's not the best. Sometimes it's doing some funky stuff that I don't like. But for the most part, if you leave it at quality, as you can see, we are having at least a pretty good image. And for the most part, I would say that the GTX 1660 is actually handling Cyberpunk 2077 way better compared to the 5600 XT. And of course, this is because this game has a lot of ray tracing. That is something that is dominated by NVIDIA, but I don't have ray tracing turned on. Now it seems that the performance is dropping when I look around, but for the most part, I'll say this is actually a more consistent performance compared to the other AMD cards. But again, this is a very heavy game, so no fault on the GTX 1660 here, as of course I wouldn't recommend you to be buying this budget PC to be playing such a game at, fully maxed out settings. And the aim of this budget PCs is to just get you, or rather to get your foot into the door of PC gaming. Okay, so now we are in GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto 5. The settings that I'm using are pretty much the same or rather, settings that I'm using are pretty much the same, like the ones I was using with the 5600 XT. So it's a mix of high to medium settings, and for the most part I think the 1660 is handling this game way better than the 5600 XT. But that being said, this is not a comparison video, rather this is more of for you to see, or rather to gauge how this budget PC performs. So yeah, let's get that money. Oh shit. Damn, I have cops on me. Sorry, I do not condone violence. I do have to say that. It's the game. Give me the money. I just need to go. I need to get out of here right now. Okay. Sometimes I forget how much fun GTA 5 can be, but that was the GTX 1660 in Grand Theft Auto 5. Okay, so now in Valorant, I've decided to get some friends to, play like an actual, or rather to simulate an actual game. And as you can see, the 1660 is doing ridiculously well. I am soaring above the 200 FPS mark, little to no minimal GPU usage. So let's first of all go to video and make sure that we are running everything high. As you can pretty much see, everything is above, rather everything is high. So yeah, so this is a pretty playable experience, but again, it's one of those things where I told you Valorant is not really a stress tester for most PCs. It will run in most PCs, so I didn't expect anything less, or rather I didn't expect anything like poor performance. Okay, so before I get carried away in this custom game, Valorant, as you can see, is a pretty playable game with this GPU. Again, as is, Valorant is not really a stress tester for most systems, but I mean, it's always nice to see it, to see a game playing at above 200 FPS. So pretty much I feel like this is such a good experience. I think you will have fun if you plan on playing Valorant with this piston. I mean, with this PC, piston. With this PC, you'll pretty much have a great time. Okay, so in today's benchmark, I've decided to include Elden Ring since it's a very popular Souls-like. It has a very big fan base, so maybe you guys are getting this PC to play this game, but I am running a mix of medium to high to low settings. So as you can see, I had to turn up the anti-aliasing because the anti-aliasing was, oh my god, it's really not playable without anti-aliasing. So I think what the service quality can be low. I think for the other things, low, medium, this should be fine. And by the way, one thing to note is that this game is capped at 60 FPS. So the game is capped. It can't go above 60 FPS. So I feel like this game would have performed better if the frame rate was uncapped, because even as much as the game, or rather the GPU, tries to push as many frames as it would want to, I feel like the engine cap is a problem. And as you can see, for the most part, I am sticking around the 50, 60-ish FPS. So let's touch some grace here. I'm supposed to go get a horse. Okay, let me not talk to this guy, because I pretty much know what he's going to say. I'm supposed to go get a horse. Can we fight this guy? Alright, let's try fight this guy, because there's a lot of boss fights in this game, so I feel like this is a fair test. So of course I'm going to die immediately. So alright, here we go. Ooh, and my frame rate. I thought the frame rate is tanking a little bit, depending on where I am. But this guy's not hard. Just need to stay behind him. I believe this is my first try and I'm damaging so much. First time I fought this guy, I was getting my Oof! We are dead. Anyway, the 1660 is more than capable to run Elden Ring. I think it's a pretty playable experience. Not the best experience because there's a lot of frame time stutters, but I won't fault the PC. I watch a lot of Digital Foundry to know that this game suffers from a lot of stuttering. So part of the stuttering might be because of the game engine. So FromSoft, I don't think have addressed the PC issues, but nevertheless, as you can see, this is the type of rather this is the typical performance that you can expect to get in this game. Oh my god, I still forget how beautiful this game can look sometimes. So yeah. Now we've come to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys got a rough idea of what you can expect from the GTX 1660 in 2024. And just like the other GPUs that I benchmarked using this system, it's more for you to find the sweet spot when it comes to graphics and what settings you're willing to turn down. Other than that, these budget systems are more than capable and they are a good entry for you in 2024 if you're looking to get started with PC gaming. Now tell us what you think in the comments section. I'll be sure to get back to you. Additionally, be sure to subscribe to our channel and like the video. Now, in case you're interested in purchasing this PC, remember this PC goes for 92,000 Kenyan shillings. You can come physically to our office, which is located at Old Mutual Building, room 405 on the 4th floor. And if you're interested in visiting our website, remember our website is esgaming.co.ke.